Hello, I'm Simon Whistler, you're watching TopTenzNet, and in the video today we're looking at the top 10 first products of famous companies. Just before we get started, I'll say that this video is made in collaboration with History and Headlines, and the author is Dr. Matthew Zarzekny, so if you want more stuff like this, do head over to historyandheadlines.com. On June 4th, 1896, Henry Ford completed his Quadricycle, the first Ford automobile, which he promptly took for a test drive. Almost 120 years later, 110 million Ford cars can trace their lineage back to this humble vehicle. Every company has started somewhere and somehow, and in this video we're looking at the 10 first products of some of these iconic companies. Number 10. The Ford Quadricycle from 1896. This granddaddy of all Fords had a 2-cylinder, 4-horsepower motor, could seat 2, and rode on bicycle tires. Steering was accomplished by a tiller, a stick-type thing instead of a steering wheel, and the top speed was 20 miles per hour. Ford was 32 years old when he built his first quadricycle. Ford Motor Company today makes around 5.5 million vehicles per year and brings in revenue of about $144 billion. Number 9. Boeing Model 1 B&W Seaplane from 1916. The first of an airplane lineage that boasts a line of American bombers with no equal and a line of American airliners that set the standards for the world, this primitive pontoon float plane had a motor that produced 125 horsepower that could take it to a top speed of 75 miles per hour. Only 2 were built, named Bluebill and Mallard, both types of ducks. They were sold to New Zealand. Boeing would go on to make the B-17 Flying Fortress, B-29 Super Fortress, B-47 Stratojet, and B-52 Stratofortress for the US Air Force and Army Air Force. Boeing would also go on to make iconic airliners such as the 727, 737, most produced airliner in history by the way, with over 8,400 built and it's still being in production, as well as the 747, 757, 767, 777, which is the world's largest 2-jet engine, and the 787 Dreamliner. They also make helicopters as well as some other products. Number 8. Volcanic Rifle, 1855. This innovative firearm is the grandfather of all Smith & Wesson and Winchester guns to follow. Smith & Wesson started the Volcanic Repeating Arms Company in 1855 to manufacture and sell a lever-action repeating rifle using new rocket ball ammunition. See number 7 for more details on this. The partners sold out to Oliver Winchester, and the Winchester line of guns and ammo was born. Smith & Wesson got back together in 1856 under the S&W banner and proceeded to make the first bored-through cylinder metallic cartridge revolvers. The S&W Model 1, how apropos, used a rimfire .22 caliber round, now known as a .22 short, and became the progenitor of all those great S&W revolvers to follow. Of course, S&W also developed many other rifles and pistols as well as ammunition. Number 7. Rocket ball ammunition, 1848. The first practical self-contained cartridge, the rocket ball consisted of a hollow lead bullet filled with gunpowder and closed off at the back by a metal cup with a hole in the middle, and then developed as the volcanic cartridge with the primer attached. The first practical self-contained cartridge, the rocket ball consisted of a hollow lead bullet filled with gunpowder and closed off at the back by a metal cup. This was later developed into the volcanic cartridge with the primer attached. This early form of caseless, no brass shell ammo was used in both single-shot breech-loading guns and the earliest lever-action rifles. This is the earliest example of what came to be developed as our modern cartridges that consist of a brass or other metal shell filled with powder and a bullet seated at the front, as well as either priming powder around the inside of the rimfire, or a primer in the center of the rear of the shell casing. The rocket ball was grossly underpowered due to a lack of sufficient powder capacity. Modern efforts to produce effective caseless ammunition continue, and sooner or later will be the norm. Rocket ball can be considered the first ammunition product in the long line of Winchester ammunition. Number 6. Altair Basic, 1975. The first product produced by Microsoft, this was an interpreter for a computer called the Altair 8800, made by MITS. Bill Gates and his partner Paul Allen formed Microsoft to produce the Altair Basic, and the rest is computer product history. Microsoft has an annual revenue of over $86 billion and employs over 128,000 people, all starting with that first product. Bill Gates is the richest man in the world, worth $82 billion, while Allen is ranked as 51st 21st richest man with a net worth of over $17 billion. Number 5. Wham-O Slingshot, 1948. This wooden-handled slingshot was the first product of Wham-O Toys, originally built in the garage of the founders, a pair of underemployed graduates of USC. Showing off their skill with the powerful weapon-slash-toy to market their product, Wham-O went on to buy the rights to market the hula hoop and later came up with the frisbee, the Super Ball, and the slip and slide. Wham-O is now owned by the Aguila Group after being owned by toy giant Mattel from 1994 to 1997. In 1958 and 1959, a total of 100 million hula hoops were sold. Other goofy products have included plastic shark teeth to take advantage of the 1975 movie Jaws, silly string, monster magnet, wheelie bar for bicycles, super stuff, hacky sack, magic sand, boogie board, and instant fish. Number 4. Banking, 1883. This is the first of a staggering 1,800 games produced by Parker Brothers, a game manufacturer with such classics as Rock, a card game from 1906, Sorry from 1934, Monopoly from 1935, Clue from 1949, and Risk from 1959 under their belts. They even made video games such as Frogger. The company was eventually acquired by Hasbro in 1991, and in 2013, Hasbro deleted the Parker Brothers name from the games. Parker Brothers also published children's books featuring Strawberry Shortcake and the Care Bears. Number 3. Veg-O-Matic, 1964. Invented by his father, Samuel Popeye, Ron Popeye started selling this and other daddy-invented stuff under the name Ronco, his own company. Ron Popeye became the first of the famous television pitchmen, selling gadgets on infomercials, bringing phrases to the American lexicon such as set it and forget it, but wait there's more, and as seen on TV. Ron Popeye has often been parodied on cartoons and television shows, including Saturday Night Live. Number 2. Industrial Pigments, 1885. Before Crayola became synonymous with crayons, they were a company called Binney & Smith that sold industrial pigments. Crayons were added to the product list in 1903, and the first dustless variety of white chalk was made in 1904. The Crayola name was invented by the wife of co-founder Edwin Binney, and the Ola part of the name became a popular suffix for all sorts of products. Crayola crayons were inducted into the National Toy Hall of Fame in 1998, and the company changed its name to Crayola in 2007. Crayola has also had the rights to Silly Putty since 1977 and makes a variety of colored pens, pencils, markers, and art materials. Number 1. Corundum and Sandpaper, 1902. 3M, famous for making Scotch brand tapes of all sorts, started out as Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing, attempting to mine corundum. Failing at that, they quickly switched to sandpaper and, after struggling, found success after several years. Their famous Scotch tape, introduced in 1930, is their best-known product, but they make and have made a tremendous variety of things, from grinding wheels to tape players and recorders, as well as adhesives, abrasives, post-it notes, photographic film, data storage, car care products, and pharmaceuticals. Products such as Scotchgard and Scotch Brite are household names, and the list goes on for an amazing amount and variety of products. So I really hope you found that video interesting. If you did, please do hit that thumbs up button below, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already for brand new videos just like this every day of the week. Also, over there on the right, a couple of other videos that you might enjoy if you enjoyed this one, and thank you for watching.